I was waiting for, I'm here hypnotized, taken by, of course, the great, incredible, gifted, superb, beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. I can keep going. I can keep going. This amazing stage actor, Chris Kipiniak. Did I pronounce it right? Kipiniak.
Yeah, Kipiniak.
Kipiniak. I'm gonna need a whole show to get it right. Chris?
That part is perfect.
Chris, perfect. And your last name again? Tell me.
Kipiniak.
Kipiniak.
Yeah.
Kipiniak. Okay. Before I can't wait, because you know when you see great talent, you get inspired. When I saw this guy, this man, this gentleman on stage with the Storm Theater, when I went to see you 2 months ago, 3 months ago, with Noon Divide.
Noon Divide, yeah.
Paul Claudel, very difficult playwright. I went to see you and God, you blew me away. But before we get into you, let me give one word to my sponsors. I'm not gonna forget, I'm here. I'm present and I'm doing my job right. I forgot already. Oh no, the Micos, the best Italian specialties, Madonia's Brothers Bakery, Caterina Lancova, and your health. I'm wearing Caterina Lancova. Yeah, I got it right. Okay, so now we can talk.
Great.
Okay, Chris, we were talking off camera. I've been paying you compliments since you walked in. I said, I can't help it. I can't help it. You are so talented.
Oh, thank you very much. That's the sort of, that'll make me blush.
Yes, but you're blushing now. Come on, I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. When I saw you on stage, I said, who is that man? Oh my God, I have to check the program. I said, Chris. And I kept looking at your name, Chris Kipiniak, and your name kept. And I went backstage after the play was done, and you took off on me.
It's true. I said I didn't know.
You didn't know.
My folks were there. I had to.
Yes, you had to do what you had to do.
Very supportive, great parents. So I had to,
Yeah, you did.
They get first dibs.
Yes, I know. But you broke my heart. But that's besides the point. Okay. I said, why we don't get? I want to shut my top. If you can get this man, forget about me. Forget about me. On him. Look at that man. I told you look like Kevin Kline. You truly do. But your voice on stage, Chris, it's just, please, can you talk to me about you growing up, your acting, your craft? Where is this talent coming from? Please, enlighten me. And I mean it. I'm not being sarcastic.
And I won't be sarcastic at all. I listen, for
you see, now
talent,
you're speechless.
I certainly don't want to be churlish and not take the compliment, but I would say more. I work hard at it. I went to school. I've been acting for a very long time, through high school, through college, and then afterwards. And I think more than anything else, like I said, I don't want to. It's very nice to be called talented, but it's also, more than anything else, like it's work and dedication. It's something that I enjoy very much and I think is worthwhile. I went to university and studied at Northwestern, and learned about it there. But then after that, for the past however many years, I've just been doing shows. And I think acting, like any other skill, like any other craft, you learn by doing and you get better. I hope I get better by doing it. And it's also the kind of thing you learn, I guess, as you get older, that just maturity helps too.
Right. Who wants to be in their 20s? I don't want to be 20 again. I don't.
I mean, it has its upsides, absolutely, but
but I mean,
but the fact is, you're stupid.
Yeah, you're very. Well, I don't know if but yeah, you're right.
You're a
right.
kid.
You're a kid. What do you know when you're 20?
You have less discipline. You have less experience, less wisdom.
Right.
Which is great in many ways because it helps you to take risks and make choices that perhaps you might not if you'd actually stop to think about them. Like going into acting, for example.
Yes.
That's a terrible choice,
Yes,
but who would make it? Who would make it if they'd thought about it? But sometimes it's a good thing that sometimes it is the right choice.
But this is the right choice for you, Chris. There's no second thoughts. I saw you on that stage in Noon Divide, and I went to the director. My God, I said, that actor that you casted. I said to Charles Casano, one of my associate producers, Charles, who who is that man? Where is he coming from? That, you know, when you see that classic, talented, trained actor that is like, I felt when I saw you, as two names came to me: Kevin Kline, because you look like him, okay, and Laurence Olivier. You know, and you brought me back to Wuthering Heights, okay, and I love that movie. I love that book. But your presence on stage is so powerful.
Well, listen, the production certainly helped. It's Noon Divide
Peter Dobbins is a great director.
Excellent director, and the rest of the cast was fantastic. But, you know, not to take it, but the script itself was, you know, that play is,
So Paul Claudel is difficult.
very difficult, and I think, but difficult is good, you know.
Difficult's good. It's good. You're right. You shut me up again. That's good. You're right. No, you're right.
But it's not. The thing is, what makes it difficult? It works on the surface level very well as a dramatic piece. There's a story there. You have interesting conflicts. You have interesting characters. You have a story. All of those things that work dramatically. Without doing any work, it would work fine.
Right.
But because he is a difficult and dense playwright, there are levels underneath.
Right.
Where the more you think about it, the more resonance everything gets, and the more that the story means. Now he himself, from what little I sort of read about him, he was a pretty sort of deep philosophical thinker, and, you know, matters of faith particularly, and that was one of the interesting things about the show, because I don't think that's a tough topic that's often dealt with on stage. Which was one of the things that I enjoyed about doing that show very much, was engaging with the perspective of a person of faith, and I'm not myself, so that's also a point of view that you don't see very much, I think, on stage. We tend to be a more secular bunch. So I thought it was incredibly interesting to just see that other point of view. And I think there was it was just he was a fascinating thinker. The way he was grappling with questions of faith and sin redemption in that it's the kind of thing that you could sort of think about forever, and not think about it in a sort of useless way. But there is sort of depth to it. Like those were real difficult issues, and so I enjoyed doing the play very much.
But I tell you, when I was reading it, it was hard for me to get into it.
Absolutely.
And I read it twice, and I'm a good reader. I do a lot of reading, Chris. But it was hard for me to get into it. And then when I went to see the play, it made sense to me.
Absolutely. Well, you know, that's how plays are. You know,
right?
I read a lot of Shakespeare, and it's great to read, but I'll tell you, when you say it out loud or see somebody saying it out loud, when you're actually doing those things, it works 100 times better. I mean, it's written not to be read, but to be heard, and to be said, and to be acted. So, and so too with Claudel.
Yes.
So too with any playwright. You know, I mean, there are probably certain playwrights that come across just fine on the page, but I don't think there's anything that was written to be performed that will come across as well as it will when performed. Certainly when performed right.
How do I cut you off? Did I let you finish your thought?
Absolutely, yes.
You did? I did.
Yes,
I did. Okay.
Totally did.
How do you approach the work in terms of like a play? I mean, what specifically, do you have a specific method, or you like to have different ways, or do you think too much before you do, or you go with your guts and your feelings and your instincts? I mean, how does it work for you? What do you think?
I don't know, and
I love that answer. Oh, that's pretty good. I'd love to hear somebody saying, I don't know.
Well, listen, then you'll love me,
God,
because
Chris,
I
what
say
a
it
big
a lot.
turn on. I'm just trying to pick you up, but man, I would love to have people say more. I don't know.
Well,
I already know.
But you did say with each project, it does usually, to my mind, it does come out a bit differently.
Right.
And I think different plays call for a different type of work and approach and preparation. So to do different directors, I've worked with directors that have different styles, both of directing, both of how they work with the actors, and both of the way they like to have the show ultimately appear. Like I've done a bit of work with directors who are more presentational
Right.
and more overtly theatrical,
Right.
which just asks for something very different than directors who do things that are more naturalistic. And so it does call for a different process. So too, if a play is new, and if you're working on a new play with the author present, and when there are rewrites being done and stuff like that, that's also a different process, because the playwright rather, is looking, I would think, I think sometimes they're looking for you to make a choice and bring something as a way to to sort of experiment and see how well what they have written is working. Whereas if you're working on something that's set, that already exists, it doesn't have that same plastic quality. So you simply have to, not so much simply, so you have to take what is there and make choices based on it. Like I said, certain directors that I've worked with tend to want to tell actors what to do more, and some want to do it less. And well, I don't.
It's like Austin Pendleton, one of my favorite acting people in the entire world, a great acting coach, great director. He's directing The Three Sisters. Amazing
Like to see it.
director, amazing coach, amazing actor. He says that you can't tell an actor what to do. I mean, it's a very different approach.
It's absolutely, it's a very different approach, and I think that you can't tell an actor what to do unless you can, unless you're doing a different type of show where you're either trying to undermine certain elements or you're trying to make sure certain points are made. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think the theater, there's room for all types of things, and I think it's important that an actor is able to work with a director who has very specific things that they want and is able to, like, okay, I can tailor it, I can do this as a performer.
Right.
But there are also times when you have a director who does not quite know, who allow you a little bit more freedom.
Right.
At which time you have to make choices for yourself and be able to make those choices and be able to work. So all of that is a very long way to say that it to me, it very much depends on the type of play that I'm doing, the type of production it's going to be. And I don't necessarily think that there's anything wrong with more performative or
right, it's just
with more
different.
performative stuff. It's just very different. Actually, I tend to actually like seeing that kind of work very much.
Like when you go to see musicals, for example, it's a whole different setting.
Yeah, it's a
with
whole different scene than if you're seeing a piece of classical theater or. Right. So it's just things call for different things, and I think it's important, and I hope to be, not the most skilled guy in the world, but I would love to have the more the merrier. You know what I mean?